And we're back, and I'm back. I'm back at the toy drive with Steve Sparky Fifer. It's the Bart Winkler Show. And we're in the Bear Sunroom Studios, if I remember that right.
That's correct, yeah.
If you can check us out on the Dan Schani YouTube stream, Dan Schani Insurance. Steve, I have some sports-related questions for you, but that can wait.
Sure.
17 years. Most of those you've been out here. There was COVID year.
Yeah.
But other than that,
2 years.
Yeah, 2 years. Other than that, it's been you talking to the people, getting donations, all for the kids, Sparky.
Yeah, it's good stuff, man. It's for Children's Hospital, Children's Wisconsin. Again, I mean, just think about it. You don't want to be spending your holidays in the hospital. Your kids definitely don't want to be spending their holidays in the hospital. So, what we do is we collect toys, and it helps, for those kids during the holidays to get a couple of toys, a toy or two from Children's Hospital. And then if we get enough toys, which thankfully over the course of time we've been able to do so, it helps, supply toys for the entire year. So if somebody's having a bad day, they get a toy, puts a smile on their face. For their birthdays, checkout, when they're going home, you get a toy on checkout when you're going home. That's good stuff. Plus, it also helps with Robin's Nest, which is something that they've started up in the last 10, 12 years or so, which is something involving foster parenting. So a lot of these foster parents, that don't have a ton necessarily going for them, you're able to kind of help provide toys for them for the holidays as well for those foster kids that they're mentoring. So it just does so much good stuff. It's my favorite week of the year, has been since we started this thing 17 years ago. And hopefully we can keep this thing going for another 17 more.
My first year out here was 2015, 2014. Maybe I was in studio. Maybe first year out here 2016, but still since the mid whatever. Would you believe me if I said my outlook on this has changed after I had a child?
Yeah, absolutely.
Not that it changed. It's just now I can say things and mean it instead of just like pretending.
Well, I mean, look, I always tell the story. Matt Regatius, who used to be a producer for Bill Michaels back in the day, has a son who is special needs, I guess would be the best way to put it, and spent a lot of time in children's. And I'll never forget when his son was really young and he was he called me and he said, "Don't you ever stop that toy drive." He goes, because the look on my son's face when he was given a toy just changed his whole day. He was in so much pain and everything else that was going on, but that moment was huge. And not only was it huge for the kid, but it was huge for Matt and his wife, the parents actually seeing their son smile, who had been going through so much that day. It's a big deal. And I had an experience with children's as well. Last year, we had our baby daughter at the end of July, and Labor Day weekend, she stopped breathing. And we were in children's Labor Day weekend last year for 2 nights, 3 days, whatever it was. And it ended up not being anything. They called it a brew event. U and E mean unexplained event. So they have no idea why it happened. But apparently it happens with babies. So it happened once, and they said if it happens twice, then we have to be something concerned about. Thankfully, it never happened again. But you can imagine when your baby's eyes are rolling in the back of their head and they're turning purple, how scared you would be driving your baby to the hospital. So I've been through it. I've spent nights at Children's Hospital. So you're right. When you're a parent, and if you have to use Children's, you really get a better idea of it. But even if you have a kid and you've never used it, knowing that they're there is a big deal. And so many of the people that use Children are not from southeastern Wisconsin. They fly in from other states. They come in from different parts of the country because this is one of the top hospitals in the country, and we're blessed to have it in our backyard.
See, I gave you an assist there because you could say a lot of that much better than me. I mean, my kid's 4. I can speak on how great toys are and
Yes.
how great it is to have a hospital here. But thankfully, we haven't, the only nights I've spent would be when he was born.
Sure.
Which
that's lucky. Knock on wood.
Did you see that video of Jason Kelsey? Did you see that at all? When he was in the hospital, like living his best life while his wife was in labor. That's kind of what I did. I was asleep. Oh my God, she's in labor for 10 hours. I'm just sleeping. I'm just enjoying myself.
That's horrible.
I'm a terror. That's when Me as a dad goes up. Me as a husband keeps going down.
But she's still with you, so it's all worked.
Well, as of the taping, yeah.
Yes. Hey, by the way, if you can't make it out here to Blaine's Farm and Fleet in Oak Creek, we're out here every day, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. We have great volunteers from Children's Wisconsin are helping us out as well, collecting cash donations, check donations as well as brand new toys. Here, check out Toyland, Blaine's Farm and Fleet. If you can't make it out this week between Monday and Friday, why the hell not? No, I'm just joking. But you can donate online at 12:50 amthefan.com. Just click on the Toy Drive story. You can make your donation online. And hopefully I can see a bunch of you out here during the course of the week and talk some sports.
Yeah, this is fun. It's great to be a part of this. And again, donate online if you can't get here. But if you can get here, see my man Steve. That helped too. I need to come to you as a longtime radio man and the things that I've been dealing with lately.
Yep.
We talked Packers. I was on Kurt and Long.
You were. Thank you.
We talked Packers.
That's posted.
So I'll start with a softie. Do we think they're making the playoffs? Because I told you I think they can.
Yes.
Very non-committal. Their schedule's bad, so they got Kansas City also. But then they have Tampa, not in the right order, but the Giants, Tampa, Chicago, Carolina, and the Vikings. And if you lose to Kansas City, you still got 5 games. Let's give them a loss in one of those 5 games. It's still 4 winnable games. Based on their schedule, based on Seattle's schedule, if we're going to scoreboard watch, I think they can. And even if they go and get killed, fine. But I think they can, and I think it's good for a team that is, even if they don't make the playoffs, it's nice for a team that's young like this to have that goal, to have something to build towards. I think this season for being 5-6 is like, I'm very pleased with how it is going. And they are 5-6.
Brian Gutekunst said in midseason that they had to show him something in the last 10 games. Since that press conference, I believe they've started to show him something week in and week out. And this team has turned the corner, offensively especially, has turned the corner. And I think at the beginning of the year, a lot of people said, wins, losses, whatever. But the offense specifically, because the defense is Joe Barry, it is what it is. But offensively, you want to see the offense playing better as the year went, right? And by the end of the year, have 2-3 games by the end of the year where you're like, okay, they turned the corner. We're good with this going into next year. They figured it out. It took a while, but they figured it out. We're good. We're going to go with this group next year. But if it's 1-2-3 punt, 1-2-3 punt every first half for 17 weeks and they never get out of their own way at any point, then maybe it is, okay, is Jordan Love really our guy? Are these wide receivers really what we thought we were? Then you have those questions. But since that presser, I think they've taken those steps, and now I think it's going to be hard to convince me that Jordan Love's not the guy at this point. To me, he is the guy, and I think they still need one more true number one, with all due respect to Christian Watson. I think they could really use a true number one wide receiver, but outside of that, I think they're good to go.
With respect to the holiday season,
yeah,
and Craig Counsell, who has been –
no, I don't want to talk about it.
Hold on. To our toy drive in the past.
Don't care.
And has donated.
Don't care.
Why I want to bring this up is obviously I'm furious with him and what I think he did is terrible. I don't remember a take that I've had or an opinion or a feeling that I've had that's been so met with pushback that I don't understand the pushback. Because I've had takes about the Bucks or the Packers or whatever, and I understand the other side of it. But the amount of people Wisconsin fans, forget the Cub aspect of it, Wisconsin fans who are trying to tell me it doesn't matter, who cares, and then I was over it. And then he shows up at the Bucks game. The brazenness of this man to show up at this Bucks game. I just don't understand how you can't be mad. And the thing that's always triggered me in any time that we talk about money is the thing that we do. It's these comparisons to well, you would do this in your job. You would do this in your job. You don't move from AT&T to Verizon and have 2 million fans pissed at you. Okay? He made Milwaukee look like a Chicago suburb. That's why I'm the most mad. And why aren't people mad with me? Can you help me?
First off, it's toy drive week. I'm trying to be happy. Trying to do stuff for the kids. You bring up this idiot.
I told you Craig's donated. I've said a good thing about Craig for the first time since Craig Timber.
Good for him. Listen, I've never been more mad about a sports topic in my life. At anything. You could talk about the Packers screwing up 2014. You could talk about Brett Favre leaving. Excuse me.
I'm killing this man.
This one angers me the most by far. I've been the most angry about this. Just the thought of his name, I get mad. I didn't realize he was at that game last night. I saw it on social media this morning. Somebody that had tweeted and you quote tweeted it on your account. I will tell you that this is the difference. When Brett left, Brett never said he was one of us. Brett never said, "Hey,
we put that.
I'm like you."
We did that.
We did that, right? But he never said he was one of us,
no.
Right? I grew up here. I went to the stadium like you did. I'm a Brewer through and through, and this is so important. And okay, Brett never did any of that stuff. Brett never decided he was going to live here after he got traded to the Jets. Brett never decided he was going to live here after he got traded to the Vikings. Want to know why? Because he wasn't one of us, number one. And number two, he wasn't stupid enough to come back here after everything that went on. He got rid of that softball game, lickety split. I'm out. Not coming back for that either. Let Donald Driver do it.
Rodgers is an owner and won't even come back to Bucks games.
Right. All of that, not having it. Then we have Craig Counsell, who does the video, who says he's one of us, and is literally been one of us. Whitefish Bay basketball games, he's there. Watching his kids play high school sports, he's there. Nobody bothers him. He's by himself. It's all good. Goes to a bunch of Bucks games. Again, nobody bothers him. All good. My issue with all of this is you could have taken the Mets job for $1 million less. You didn't want to do that. The Guardians, I don't know how much they were offering, but that you would have had no response from Brewer fans if you taken the Mets job. Even though you're in the same league, nobody would have cared. All right, you and David Stern.
We say, hey, Craig's at the Bucks game. That's cool.
Cool, whatever, right.
He wants to stick around. That's neat.
Fine. Guardians job. Fine. Do what you got to do. The only 2 jobs, and I literally tweeted it out that morning before it happened. I don't care where he goes. Do not go to Chicago to the Cubs and do not go to the Cardinals. I'll tell you this. He could have went to the White Sox. I would not have cared.
Not have cared.
Would not have cared. Go ahead. We'll see you in the World Series maybe someday. Don't care. But you stay in the division and you go to one of the 2 biggest rivalries of this fan base, which you know because you grew up here your entire life.
And he's playing dumb now. That makes me more mad.
You want to play it both ways.
Yeah, I needed Steve this whole time.
Right.
Screw all you idiots
who
are trying to tell me to get over it.
No.
It's not even been a month. He showed up at the Bucks game.
No, I've said it on my podcast. I recommend you boo him, his family, everybody in the grocery store, at the bank.
They left him alone at the Bucks game.
Wherever you see him, you boo him. Like, I don't want you to be personal. I don't want you to name call. I want you none of that.
Yes, Steve.
But if they're buying an apple, boo. Just boom everywhere you see him. It's ridiculous. And then he has his press conference and he's trying to tell me, oh, man, it was a lot more difficult than I thought this last week. I didn't think your action was going to be like this. You're a moron then. You are a complete and utter moron if you didn't expect Brewer fans to be pissed off about this. And what makes it worse is you go to the Cubs, whose payroll is going to be double the Brewers easily. They're going to probably have every chance to go to a World Series. The Brewers are going to be in a rebuild here going forward. With Brett, you saw him twice a year for a couple of years. With Counsell, you're going to see him 13 freaking times a year for 5 years at least. And more than likely, if they win and they go to the playoffs, he's going to get another 5 years and another 5 years. And you know how he's going to be remembered? As the manager of the Chicago Cubs. That's how he's going to be remembered before this whole thing is said and done. And then when he's wearing that Cubs World Series ring around town, you can go up and congratulate him on winning a Cubs World Series and feel good about yourself. That is absolute insanity.
So why are so many people defending him?
Easy.
Why?
He grew up here.
But do
you have any idea of how many family and friends acquaintances this man has around southeastern Wisconsin to help insulate him and to help fight his fights going forward? They're everywhere. I had a volunteer out here today. she was telling me that her daughter knows his son and they went to school together and blah, 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 blah. Okay.
Yeah,
So, I mean, that's just one example when it came up today of, oh yeah, this person went to school with that person that knows that person. He has a huge network of people that love him. And I get it, right? Good dude was a good dude. And they're all going to protect him. So this is not like Brett. Brett had a few people, right? Business people around the area that like Brett. But he didn't have the close-knit people around him because he didn't grow up here, like Counsell. So that's what makes this all completely different. That's why you have so many people running to his defense and telling people to get over it because they're friends with him, his kids, his wife, other family members, and they're going to defend him to the death no matter what happens. And those that are pissed off and angry don't have an affiliation with him, don't care about him or his family, and care more about being a Brewer fan than anything having to do with him.
I'm not saying he can't live and be out in, I'm not saying he can't do that.
I will. Get the hell out. Go live in Illinois. You want to be a Cubs manager?
I agree.
Go live in Skokie. You don't have to live here.
But
that one report said his dream job. Cool. Take your dream and get the hell out.
But if I want to, I'll give him an inch. If I give him an inch and say, all right, you went to some Whitefish Bay games this weekend. Okay. He showed up at a Bucks game.
He's going to continue to.
That is how do people not understand? That is a slap to everyone's face. And then okay. Well, he's a huge Bucks fan, Bart. Oh yeah. Guess what he did at that game? Sat on his ass the whole time. Never clapped, never cheered. That's what I was told.
Well, I don't know. Who cares? I don't care if he stands up or cheers or not. But you're right. It is the whole aspect of, I'm fine. I'm Craig Counsell. I'm great. So
Wisconsin's all talk. They won't boo me. You can you imagine? I keep using this example. Philly's manager goes to the Mets, goes to a Sixers game. He would be dead.
Tell me this. Tell me what would happen if LaFleur or McCarthy or any of these other guys would have went to the Bears from here. What if Forrest Gregg would have coached the Bears after Ditka? How would that have been received? Or what
Bart Starr.
Right, Bart Starr. What if Ditka would have coached the Packers after he coached the Bears? Would Ditka be the same Reverend Ditka in Chicago had he coached the Packers for 10 years later?
That McMahon won a Super Bowl with us?
Exactly.
As well as the Bears.
Yeah, come on.
Speaking of Bucks, last thing. I don't know, but after 10 games, and now there's been a winning streak, and now Kevin or Connor or whoever the hell he is has an article about the Bucks should fire Griffin again. What are we doing?
Being stupid.
They're third place, their best record.
Look.
We got an in-season tournament title on the way.
Well, I don't care about the in-season tournament.
I've been to both games.
Good. Very good. Yep. I'm going to my first game with Bucks Spurs December 13th. Wembanyama. Go see Wembanyama. This is the only reason I'm going to that game, to be honest with you, is because the 16-year-old got some award from high school, so I only had to pay for one.
They might be raising the NBA Cup banner that night.
Oh, really? On the 13th?
It's like a week after, maybe.
Whatever. So anyway, this is the thing. Did I like the Adrian Griffin hire? No. Did I want a more experienced coach? Yes. Having said that, should we make proclamations about this team in November? No. December? No. January? No. Talk to me at the end of February, early March, and then I'll tell you what I think this team is going to look like. I don't know if you watch, what is it, Bucks Film Room? Is that the Twitter account or whatever it is?
Mr. Film.
Yeah. If you go back at his Twitter feed a couple nights ago and look, and you could plainly see either they don't know where they're supposed to be going on defensive rotations, or they just choose not to move their feet to get to where they're supposed to be going on defensive rotations. But there are clearly issues on defense. And I do not care what the numbers say. Oh, look, they're missing 2 more threes a game against the Bucks than they were before. Right, because they're missing 2 more threes per game, not because the Bucks defense has done anything to try and have that happen at this point. Offensively, you're going to have any chance to win any game because you have Giannis and Lillard. Last night, I'm watching Twitter blow up as the Bucks are getting hammered.
Sunday was rough.
Right? People are losing their minds. No, last night, Monday night, people were losing their mind. Or no, today's Monday? Today's Monday.
This is
you're
the
right.
Tuesday episode.
Yeah, sorry. No, I'm all confused.
I still try to present it.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm all confused.
Can't break that habit.
So anyways, so Sunday's game was awful. And people on Twitter, oh my God, people paid money to go watch this game and look at the crap they've got to watch. Unbelievable. Blah, 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 blah. Complain. I'm saying nothing. I'm just watching it. I'm like, okay, well, we'll see what happens. And what happens? They come storming all the way back. Giannis and Lillard take over the fourth quarter, and they win the game. Again, you all can freak out and be mad because they're not winning the way you want them to win. But they are winning, number one. Number two, seeding does not matter for this Bucks team. The only thing that matters for this Bucks team is, will they be healthy when the playoffs start? And will they be playing together as a unit in that starting five? Will Giannis and Lillard have figured out how to play, together by the time we get to the playoffs? The answer to that should be absolutely yes. Then it's, will they all be healthy? Will Middleton be healthy, or will they be without Middleton in the playoffs? That is the biggest key of all, because without Middleton, that team is much different than with Middleton. And Brook Lopez, holy crap. Look at Brook Lopez play lately. So that too, how will his role develop and go on throughout the course of the year? These young guys, are they still going to be in the playoff rotation? Because right now they're giving Andre Jackson a lot of damn run. Marjon Beauchamp's getting run. AJ Green's getting run. Are they still going to be relevant by the time the playoffs come? That's all the stuff we have to focus on. The defense will figure itself out. It'll get better. It's going to take time. But all this crap about Adrian Griffin being fired is stupid. Like, it is way too early to care about this one way or the other.
Steve, Sparky, Fifer, the effort he puts in to this toy drive is unparalleled. And because I care about him and I care about this, if you guys can do any donations, please do. Because you guys sometimes tell me, do a charity thing. No. Then it saves me the trouble and work, and I can still feel good, and we can get people to help.
That's right. Blake's Farm and Fleet all this week, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. I'm out here. Come on out, say hi. Got a bunch of representatives from Children's Wisconsin and Robinson helping me out all week long, which is awesome. You can bring a toy if you already bought a toy somewhere else, drop it in the bin right out where we are set up with our Bear sunroom, or you can go inside Toyland here at Blaine's Farm and Fleet, buy a toy or two in there, drop that in the bin, or we have a cash bucket. You can drop cash or checks into that as well, checks to Children's Wisconsin, or go online if you can't get down here during the week. Go to 1250amthefan.com and make your donation online. Again, kids in a hospital during the holidays, nobody wants to be there. Nobody wants to live through it, and this helps.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.
And to hell with you, Craig Counsell.
He is a dick.